Hi, so my name is Camille Adams. I am a registered dietitian, and in summary of all the different things that I do, I love to help people live their healthiest lives and give them the empowerment of nutrition education to help them get there.
Nice. This is not something that you watched YouTube videos to learn how to do or something, although you probably could. What did you actually study and why?
Okay, great question. So even though I love a YouTube, I do love a YouTube. So dietitians, people ask me all the time, what is the difference between a dietitian and a nutritionist? So to be a dietitian, we obtain licensure and we obtain credentials. So I went to Michigan State, go green, for 4 years to get my bachelor degree in science of dietetics. And then we have to do a year-long internship under other providers, being with the medical team. We did over 2,000 hours of clinical practice. We also do work in the community, and we do work in food service as well. So we do a very well-rounded education to learn all about nutrition, whether that's in the hospital, outpatient setting, counseling in the community, being involved with WIC, helping people who use SNAP. I mean, there's a lot of different things that we do that all surround food.
Were you always a super fit, super healthy person, or did you eat junk food like many of us do as kids?
So I always say me and Lil Debbie were best friends growing up. I have a little bit of a nutrition story myself of why I chose this field. The biggest part of why I chose this field is I want to give people access to the information that a lot of Americans don't know. If people did know, we would do better. I think so. There's a big gap, just like me. So I grew up with a single parent household. My mother was on government assistance. She was trying her best to feed her child. But our American diet, we call it SAD, that acronym. Just blindly and unconsciously eating can make you very unhealthy. So she only knew what she knew at that time. I had limited vegetables, unless you count corn, which we don't count anymore. From a can, and people only know what their parents have told them or what limited things they learn in school. So because of how I grew up eating, I had some significant health problems in my adolescence. I was always around a healthy weight because I was somewhat active, doing things, dancing, running around, being young, but I ate terribly. And finally, a doctor said to me, "Do you think what you're eating could be why you feel so bad?" Blew my mind. I mean, I had never put two and two together, and that wasn't my fault. And it's not other people's fault as well, because the information is not out there. So afterwards, I became a professional Googler. I tell people, which makes me even more confused. Yeah. It's very, again, difficult to find reliable nutrition education. So once I went to college, I always knew I wanted to help people, that sort of job. I realized through taking these intro to nutrition courses, I loved this. Finally, something real, scientifically based, evidence-based that I could use to find good nutrition information for me. Wait, I can make a job out of this? I can help other people do this? So that's kind of what launched me into a career that I now absolutely love. It's my passion.
Good. Hopefully you always love what you're doing, because if only there were more people out there who had the information, I think probably this country would be much healthier than it actually is.
I agree.
Okay, let's talk about, it's a new year. We see people this time of year in particular making these goals, making New Year's resolutions. I want to be healthier. I want to go to the gym more. I want to be on a diet. And by this time in the year, partway through January, we know a lot of people have already fallen off.
Yeah.
So what can people do just on a very simple daily or weekly basis to live a healthier life?
Great question. And I love how you mentioned the New Year resolutions. A statistic I found from Forbes said 9% of Americans actually accomplish their resolution. 9%, yes.
Oh my God.
But it's a very low, very, very low number, and very surprising. And I think that the biggest thing is, one, people are setting themselves up to fail. They're making goals that are not realistic. We in dietetics, we use something called a SMART goal format. It's an acronym. It stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. And what all those fancy words are saying is, make a goal that's somewhat challenging, but that's realistic, you can accomplish. And instead of just saying, I want to lose weight, how about I want to lose 8% of my body mass over a 6-month time span, and I'm going to measure it by weighing myself every week and doing body measurements. Boom, you're more apt to actually accomplish that type of goal than just throwing something out there. Now, to acknowledge what are some simple things you can do. I love that you said simple because it doesn't have to be hard. Biggest thing is, everyone's gonna, okay, increase your fruits and vegetables, right? Getting that fiber goal of 25 to 30 grams per day will make you feel better, more energy, better sleep. The vitamins and minerals that are in fruits and vegetables are what help us break down our carbs, our protein, and our fat. So increasing those is always going to make you feel better, naturally helps your digestion, could help with weight loss as well. Another simple thing is turn your food around, be an intentional consumer. An example I always love to use, Pop-Tarts, we love them, right? There's 2 in a bag, the serving size is 1. There are things out there that if you just look at the label, look at the serving size, how many calories are in there, it can really educate you. And then decreasing that added sugar. Like I said, they kind of set us up to fail in our food system, sadly. There's sugar in everything. One goal I always hear is, I'm going to cut out sugar for the whole year. Have fun. It's just, you have ketchup and you already ruined it. So there's a lot of added ingredients and a lot of added sugar that if you turn your food products around and look at the label, you can now, being an intentional consumer, saying, you know what, I don't understand all this list of ingredients, or I don't like that there's 48 grams of sugar, which is your daily limit, in 1 can of pop. So I'm going to put those away and I'm going to choose whole foods.
Now, for people who maybe they are hungrier than the average bear, and they say, I'm not full after 1 Pop-Tart. Any advice as far as eating throughout the day or snacks that people can have to help them feel fuller, to help them feel satiated after eating?
Yes. Oh, great vocabulary. Yes. Right, because satiated is different than full. So we don't want to eat until we're stuffed, but until we feel less hunger. I'm always thinking of protein. Regardless of what type of diet you eat, I'm a pescatarian. I've been vegan in the past. I haven't eaten meat in a while, so protein is something that's always on my mind that I make sure I get in my diet. But use the Pop-Tart, for example. There's nothing in there but carbs and added sugars. That's going to do nothing for your body. Your blood sugar will spike and then come right back down, leaving you with low energy. So always making sure you're having some protein, especially in the morning. Have some protein at breakfast, whether that's eggs or a plant-based option, maybe some tempeh or tofu, whatever you choose, always have some protein. My clients tell me they feel so much better. And they're less apt to eat large amounts during the day because they've started the day kind of controlling that hunger with their protein.
And that goes right into my next question. It's not just about what you eat, but when you eat it throughout the day, or in comparison to when you wake up and when you go to sleep, right? Talk a little bit, if you would, about, how do I want to say this? Talk about the importance of eating certain foods when you first wake up and certain foods, or even less food, right before bed.
Yeah, great question. People ask me all the time. So it's really about the meal timing, It's really, of course, in the long game, calories in versus calories out when we're talking about maintaining a weight. But there are different meal patterns that work for people. One thing I tell people is do not skip meals. Even if you're trying to maintain your weight, lose weight, gain muscle, whatever it is, do not skip meals. Your body and your metabolism wants those consistent calories throughout the day. So always have a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner, sometimes a snack in between. Something that I tell people is, eating right before bed. Not only do significant amount of calories could matter, high sugar will disrupt your sleep before you go to bed, but it's truly the physical part, right? So when we digest something, we increase our stomach acid. If you eat right before you go to bed and then you lay down, what's gonna come up? Acid reflux. Right? And that's something that people get prescribed medicine for all the time. Easy fixes that if you come to a dietitian, we can help you and say, try to stop eating about an hour, 2 hours before you go to lay down at night and you'll feel much better.
Oh, wow. That's just that alone. It seems like it would make a world of difference. Concerning laying down for the night, how important is a healthy sleep schedule when it comes to trying to lose weight or just be healthier in general?
Extremely, extremely important. So not only do we control our sleep schedule controls us. The biggest thing I see in the rise of an obesity epidemic, chronic disease, type 2 diabetes, regardless if the person is trying to or not, we see a lack of sleep. Sleep is really what helps your metabolism. We don't understand all of the benefits of sleep yet. People are getting PhDs to research that. I'm out here talking about nutrition, but it's very important. So for adults, we really do need that solid 7 to 8 hours of sleep, possibly 8 to 9 if you have adolescent children at home. You'll feel so much better. It's what helps your body reset. And we have seen studies that when people get less sleep, 5 to 7 hours on average, and people who are getting the 7 to 8, they're tending to burn more calories, getting on their weight loss goals, or maintaining the weight that they already have. And so we know sleep has a direct correlation with what your health is going to be.
How did you get into doing these cooking videos on social media, and what's the response been to those?
Oh, thank you so much for asking. So I think that, like I said, as dietitians, it's really our moral obligation to go out and spread I like to say, the good word of nutrition to the public, because nobody else is doing that. So I see influencers every day who are getting paid to talk about supplements and pills that will do everything. We have to have some social media presence as nutrition educators to help people. And the biggest thing I always love to tell people is abs are made in the kitchen. Right? So I tell people, you don't have to be a master Michelin star chef, but you have to learn some cooking skills and be comfortable in the kitchen if you want to be healthy. It really helps you control what food is going into you. For example, if you go out to eat to Outback, of course, you know, they have their calories and stuff listed online, but you don't know what they're doing, how much oil and butter they're using, how much salt they're using. If you have high blood pressure, it's very difficult to go out to eat. I'm sure some of the viewers understand that. So getting comfortable and finding simple, easy foods, if I can help show somebody how to do that and bridge that gap to help them eat healthy, I love it. And I also love to cook. I think it's very fun. So I like to show people it really can be easy peasy.
And when it comes to cooking, I think people forget that you don't have to cook one meal and then eat it, one meal and then eat it. You can prepare a week's worth of food. Do you want to talk about meal prepping or how beneficial that can be?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's so funny. I saw a dietitian get interviewed on TV, and something for the new year she said is, don't meal prep. And when she kind of expanded about that, because I was taken aback a little bit about it, but she was talking about fully preparing a meal and maybe putting them in Pyrex and putting them in the fridge. So something I want to clarify when I say meal prepping, it can be any sort of preparation to help you, once you're done with that busy workday, make an easy meal. So I always say, have your future self thank your past self. So meal prepping doesn't have to be you're making an entire week's worth of meals and then heating them up in the microwave. If that's your jam, that's great. But it's even simple things like coming home from the grocery store, wash your celery, peel your carrots, cut them up, put them in some glass containers, put them in the fridge, right? So that your future self 2 days later, when you go to make your stir fry, it tastes just like that because everything's already prepared for you. You can always have meat if you eat meat, marinating in a nice healthy olive oil based sauce. You can have that prepared in the fridge. You can throw it on the grill or in your pan. So I always say when you have extra time, maybe it's a Sunday, maybe it's a random morning that you have off because you had a doctor's appointment, take control of your groceries and prep them in some sort of state, cutting, chopping, marinating. Your future self will thank you so much more. And you're way less likely to call up Jimmy John's if you have things already prepared at home.
For people who see this, whether they read the article online or watch it live on our morning show, if they want more information about you, what's the best way to touch base with you or keep up with you online?
Yeah, thank you for asking. And I think everybody deserves to at least have one basic nutrition education session with a dietitian. It will change your life. No matter what you're trying to do with your health, just feeling empowered with that knowledge, and you don't have to be a professional Googler like I was, is very beneficial. So there are a ton of ways to get in contact with me. I have a website, which we can list. It's CamilleAdams-nutrition.com. I have a page where it says get in contact with me. I just need your name, a little bit of information about you, and I get a direct email so I can reach out to you. Another thing that you can do is always message me on Instagram or give me a call or email. We can list all of those below as well. But I'm here for people in any, wherever you're at with your health, I will meet you there. I'm so passionate about this. And of course, I do need to make money, but I'm flexible. I work with price points. Within the new year, I'm offering a 10% friends and family discount to all the friends and family on packages of 5 sessions or more, because I would love for people to come and get empowered with that knowledge.
And when you reference the sessions, can it be virtual if somebody wants to just meet you via the web?
Yes,
or
yes.
in person?
We can do virtual, we can do in person. I also offer, other than the counseling, I do food demonstrations. So kind of like we were talking about with the cooking videos, I've had people who come to me who have had disabilities where they can't use one side of their body. I've had people who come to me who are able and they just want better cooking skills because they want to take control of their health. So I think that that's an integral part that I'm always open to doing with my clients as well. So whatever's going on, it could be type 2 diabetes, it could be obesity, or it could just be wanting to get healthier. I'm your girl.
Awesome. Okay, before we wrap it up, the 3 top things to living a healthier lifestyle. Go.
Okay. Yeah. It can be very complicated, but it can also be very simple. Number 1, eat whole foods that you recognize, right? When you go in the grocery store, anything that has to be put in a box or a bag is going to have different ingredients, so it'll help you be shelf stable. So most of your diet should be whole, real foods. The second one is be active. You don't have to be a bodybuilder. Get your body moving. Very, very good for you. Those 2 things put together are anti-everything, anti-chronic disease, anti-Alzheimer's and dementia, right? Getting your body moving, eating whole foods. And the third thing is embracing change. Learning about nutrition, you're going to realize there are a lot of habits that may not be the healthiest, but it's okay. Embrace the change, take a woo-saw breath, and know that with the help of a dietitian, we can get your goals accomplished together.
Amen. Anything else you want to add?
Well, just thank you so much for having me here. I'm very, very excited. We're in this beautiful Edwin Allen model home, which I'm very, very excited about. So beautiful with a kitchen. And, just if you're looking for those healthy videos, follow me on Instagram at easy.pz.nutrition. They're just great. They're fun to watch.
Very cool. Thank you, Camille.
Thank you.